Yeah, that's the Chuck to Perry. Yeah, that's the Chuck to Perry look. There were a couple of people. A sidewalk permit at 6 o'clock.
All right, this is the Committee on Community Business Development. This is Thursday, November 20th, 2014. We're at 6 p.m. I have Council McGonigal.
Yeah.
I have Council Capone. I have Council DeFlorio. We have 3 members present. We do have a quorum.
Stand and salute the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 colleagues of ours that can't make it tonight. Both of them are under the weather. We hope for a speedy recovery. Councilor Sal Sacchetta and Councilor Leo McKinney.
Mr. Chairman, could we suspend the rules and take item number 6, please?
Second on that? Motion made and seconded to suspend the rules and take item 6. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Item 6.
All right, item number 6 it is. Item number 6, this is a petition of second-class motor dealer license for Pasquale Tedesco, doing business as Bell Service, 80 Tremont.
Councilor Rosa?
Is everything in order? This is only a transfer, is that correct? Is this,
Mr. Clerk?
could we please invite the clerk?
There's really no such thing as a transfer. It's a brand-new license, but yes, it was sold from one to the other. This particular business has residences near it, and I have never once received any phone calls whatsoever of a complaint, not one time, not ever, for either the repair side or the car sales side. So as long as he instructs the new owner to run the business the way he did, we'll be fine down there.
Okay, but everything, the new owner has applied for everything?
Everything's all applied,
set?
everything's in order.
Okay, nobody else has any questions,
The only, before we
Counselor
vote on it, I strongly echo the sentiments of Clerk, because that business has been run very, very well, very respectful of the neighborhood for many years, and I'm sure that the current owner will express those concerns over to the new buyer, and I don't see any issues as long as that happens.
Motion made and seconded for favorable action. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Item 6.
Thank you very much.
Favorable action. You're welcome. Regular order business, Mr. Clerk?
Item number 1. This is the order up by Council Michael Marchese as president, second-hand and antiques license for James Rapici, doing business as Christina's Closet, 687A Broadway.
Councilor Capone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to our clerk, is all the paperwork in order?
All the paperwork's in order.
Okay. I'd move favorable action.
Motion made and seconded for favorable action. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations, this is the gentleman in the audience. Good luck. Okay?
All right.
Next order of business, Mr. Clerk?
Item number 2 is a taxi license. This is inadvertently on the agenda, so we'll hold a separate meeting. Item number 3 is a junk collector's ordinance. Junk collector's ordinance, and we're invited Council Frank Capone and City Clerk.
Councilor Capone?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we were here last, we had the Assistant City Solicitor before us, and we were talking about different topics, and I think we were discussing revisions. I don't think we have anything, do we?
I did not receive it.
And I've marked up some stuff on mine, so what I would ask is, why don't we grant further time on that one, if everyone's okay with that, and I'll mark up my copy, and I'll get in touch with the Solicitor's Office and see if we can't get it into a final format.
Okay, Okay, motion is seconded to grant further time on item 3. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it on item 3. Grant further time.
All right. Item number 4, this is a livery license. Again, this is early on the agenda. This is to be scheduled for a separate meeting. So we'll go to item number 5. This is for registered medical marijuana dispensaries. Invited counsel Michael Marchese, sponsor, and city solicitor. Actually, Michael Marchese is not the sponsor. He only sponsored it as president.
Okay. Counselor Capone.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we could, please invite the city solicitor up.
Yeah, can we have the city solicitor before us? Which one would you like, Colleen or chief of staff?
Both, if
Both.
you want, sure. It's a double bang for the buck right there.
Mr. Clerk,
2.5.
Mr. Clerk,
Two and a
where are
half.
you going? Okay, I don't want you going too far. I like you with us.
Okay.
Counselor Capone?
Now, on this particular piece, I know that whenever the general public and even elected officials see things like this, they get very nervous. And it's a proactive stance. I'm aware it's a proactive stance. If you don't zone, then it can go anywhere, then it can
Yes,
go.
right.
And when you take the proper steps up front, you kind of
Restrict
piece it where it can go. Now, I'm looking for my, here it is. Other than small wording issues that I had some questions about, when we look at the distances, this, that, and the other thing, I'm trying to find what page it's on. It's on page 8, and it's Roman numerals 8 through 12, it looks like. When we start, and I don't know if you know this, so if you don't, I don't want it to be an unfair question. If we look at our map and we start looking at where we are for distances from schools and playgrounds, that kind of stuff, have we pinpointed a general area? Do we know
Yeah.
where roughly it would be?
Right, yeah, we had our GIS coordinator kind of color in the map, and I can provide that to you.
Okay.
It's in draft form, so it's not something that's definite and exact, but
Okay.
as the city looks today,
Mhm.
these facilities would be allowed more in the industrial area.
Okay.
But we don't want to zone it in the industrial district because we don't know what the map of the city is going to look like in a couple of more years, and we don't want to have to pinpoint an exact neighborhood.
Sure.
We think that this is a better way to restrict them,
Okay.
the facilities in terms of distances from different types of businesses and residents and parks and things like that.
Okay. And there's, like I said, there's some minor things with words. Let me ask your opinion on a couple things, if you don't mind, both of you. On page 12, under paragraph 4B, and when it talks about the selection of the consultant,
Yes.
as far as the appeal goes and all of that stuff, we've got 7 calendar days and we've got 5 working days thereafter to do stuff. Do you see any tremendous danger in just opening those up a little bit larger? Because some of the stuff could be fairly expensive for consultants to come in and do their thing. Like right now, I think it says, it's the second line, the name of the consultant has to go at least 7 calendar days to the applicant. And I was just thinking about maybe 10. I know it's only a few extra days, but a little bit more time to maybe have the applicant check out the consultant and be comfortable with them before they have to actually respond with with an appeal. And then by the flip, they extend the 5 to a 7. Do you see any serious concerns or issues with something like that?
No, I'm just trying to, yeah, I know, but I didn't know if there was something above that.
I just want to check the state law, because I believe
Yeah.
the state law is what allows for the
Yeah.
consultant in general,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure
Yeah.
if there's time constraints in the state law, so if we could just check.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we-
I
Yeah.
took a quick look at it myself, and the only thing, and I may have skipped it because, you know, when you're looking at 4,000 things, you missed that little thing
Yeah.
that you should caught. The only thing I think I saw that was set in stone was the 30 days if the city council doesn't act on it. That's
Yeah.
set in stone. But if it's not, if those are the dates that the timeframes they have in statute, it is what it is. But if there isn't, you know, I didn't know if 3 days here or there is gonna
Yeah.
make a big difference, but it would give the applicant a little bit more time.
Yeah, we'll check
So-
the regs too, because obviously they passed extensive regulations, to be honest,
Okay.
as well.
This
so.
is outside the marijuana, but.
And then, one other question I have for you is on the very last page, paragraph 5, about the annual reporting. Roman numeral 1, it's asking, I know we're dealing with sensitive stuff, and, you know, the barriers come down a little bit when you're dealing with sensitive items. Are we overstepping our bounds asking for name and addresses of employees? Think we're okay with that?
Yeah, they're not public employees, and it would be kept on, yeah, it's not, I
Okay,
don't
does
think it's,
that ever
and I think
become
this might
public
be in line, I
information?
think this might be in line with the regs too,
We do with our
which is,
tolling contract, and
Okay,
yeah,
we
Okay.
have a public
Yeah.
records request for it, we actually redact the addresses.
okay.
So.
And that was, yeah, that was my only concern, if we're listing names and addresses. And I think that the only other thing would be the very first page, paragraph A, the purposes. And just knee-jerk reactions to different words. Are we asking for trouble if we have under strict conditions versus suitable conditions, or something a little softer than that, or,
well, I think that, you know, the message that we wanted to send when we drafted this was that, this is a strict ordinance, and this
Okay.
is something that's going to be followed.
you need to comply?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, but it's, again, that's just style, so
Okay.
it's
Okay.
however you guys want to amend it, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
And the very final question I have for you tonight that I'm aware of is under applicability on the first page, letter B, under Roman numeral 4. Should we just grab that provision and kind of slap it at the very bottom? You know, that standard, if anything is here, is determined to be in violation, blah, 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 blah.
Servability?
Yeah, as opposed to keeping it in that section?
Mm-hmm.
And just make it applicable to the entire
We
thing?
can create a
Sure.
servability section.
Okay, great.
I know this came up last time, so I did check. Round 1 of the licenses is done. There is the prospect that they're gonna be awarding round 2 of the licenses in the new year.
Okay.
So, there was a recent newspaper article, or a recent article in MMA, I think it was MMA, that said that, so, basically, they awarded their first group of licenses, and some of the applicants that were awarded a license were then denied it later after the background checks.
Okay.
So those licenses have now reopened.
Okay.
We do have applicants in Everett.
We do?
We do. Yeah, that same, people that were here before.
Do you know how many?
I know of, there was 2 inquiries, and I think 1 that applied. So we do have that 1 applicant in Everett, and I know they did go through the appeal process. I haven't heard anything about that, whether or not, so they were not awarded a license, they appealed. I have not heard whether or not their appeal was successful or not, they haven't really said anything, and I think it's turned into a process on the state level. But I just wanted to caution you that I did just read an article saying that they were looking to award
Yeah.
second licenses
You gotta pass this.
in January.
Yeah,
Right,
so that was my next question.
Yeah.
We're pressed, so it's moving
It
around.
just makes me a
so.
little nervous, yeah.
Yeah, so any revisions, maybe we should be trying to do those this evening, or
I would say.
to get out next, or as long as
Yeah,
we
you'd
get
have
it
to
out
make the
for us?
recommendations, they'd have to vote on it in your next meeting anyway,
Yeah.
so you could
Yeah.
just make them on the floor then.
Yeah.
These are just, what you're asking is just stylistic, it's not
Sure.
anything that's.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions, thank you. Thank you very much.
Customary things.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Which pleasure, councilors? Grant further time or till they redraft it, or? Okay. Okay.
I've got some recommendations and changes. I mean, we could change it here in committee so that it goes to the meeting in the final form, or we can do it that night. What do you think is the better way to go? Yeah,
Excuse me, Counselor.
okay, yeah. All right, so, yeah, I think we're all set, so. So we'll just report it out, I guess favorably, and we'll just make the changes and. well,
Make the necessary.
Well, the danger, I guess the danger is it's Thursday, the meeting is Monday, so.
Like you said, you know, based on your compliments,
Yeah,
it's basically more stuff.
yeah, I think it's, the change I have in mind, I can even,
A minor.
We can
He
raise
can-
it tonight.
Why
or
can't we
put
have them
together.
change it and just give it to
Council
us
can make
Monday?
the changes and then bring them to the meeting that night for favorable action.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so.
Now, hold on, the
Yep.
city solicitor says we may have to have a public hearing.
Okay.
Colleen, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Did we do,
If,
did we do a public?
so we
I thought we
understand
already
this
had a
and do this
public hearing, we
correctly?
didn't?
Counsel,
Yeah.
excuse me.
I'm sorry.
So we do this correctly? If we make any changes tonight, we have to, is that what you're telling us? We have to put it to a public hearing? or-
Yeah, this is a zoning amendment, so, this came to you from the planning board and you sent it to committee, the night that it was on the agenda. So you need to, advertise a public hearing for 30 days.
I thought we already did that.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, okay.
Mr. Clerk?
It was sent to the committee.
I may be wrong, but I thought we did a public hearing at the last meeting. And then when it came before the body, we sent it into committee.
On October 3rd, 2014, we had a public hearing.
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry, October 14th.
So we've done the public hearing.
Okay.
It's come before us, now it's coming
Okay.
before us for favorable action to,
Okay.
Ask
And,
Colleen.
and we could make the amendments, there shouldn't be an issue that evening.
or
Ask
does it, if
Colleen.
we make
Correct,
amendments?
you can make amendments Monday night,
Yeah.
and then you can vote favorable action as amended.
Without sending it back.
Yeah, without sending it back, yeah.
That's the question.
long
So
as
it
the-
doesn't have to go back to a public hearing?
No, as long as you already had the, no, as long as you already had the public hearing and all that.
Okay,
You
and
can
it does not have to go back to the planning board?
It does
As the
not.
city- Okay, as amended.
Yeah, while we have our city solicitor here, Mr. Chairman. if-
Sure.
if I could
Yes,
ask a quick
yes,
question.
Counselor.
One of the references, I don't know if you still have it in front of you.
Yes.
Colin. On page number 8, one of the chapters is chapter 119. It's dealing with one of the offenses with minors. It says 63M. Is that supposed to just be chapter 63 or 63A? Because I don't think there's an M. I think there's an A and there's a B, but it's either 63 or 63A, and I just wanted to get clarification
No.
on that.
Let me, that might be a typo.
Okay.
Section, there's no section 63M in
No,
chapter 119?
I think it's A and B. So I don't know if that was like a CMR or something like that, got in there and got pulled out.
Okay,
I think that's it.
okay.
But, so I have no other questions. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you
Whatever,
once again.
whatever the body thinks, you think it's better to just throw all the amendments together and just have them ready for Monday, or go through them and then give them as is?
Why can't we have the city solicitor make the changes and give it to us on Monday or Monday?
I-
Then we look at it
Yeah, okay.
and, right, like that.
See, the only problem is that we had a situation like that before, and there was a concern that folks didn't think that it was legally in front of them, and I want to make sure we don't have that problem again.
Well, anything I vote on, I do want.
I'm directing the chair, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to the chair. Anything I vote on, I want it in front of me. I
Right.
want to know what I'm voting on. Because
Absolutely.
what happens is, when I have something in front of me that says item number 14, I have something to go back and see what I'm voting on. If I'm voting on something that was emailed to me, and I have 5 different emails on the change,
And I understand that the question before us is, do the three of us want to make the amendments tonight?
no, we can make,
Or,
no.
or do you want to do them that night at the council meeting in front of 11 members?
Yeah.
As long as we have the piece in front of us, we can
Okay.
make the amendments that night and vote on it that night.
You know what I can do, Mr. Chairman, if you'd
Yes.
like, is I can make the amendments to this form, and I will highlight them so that the changes are up, and I will bring copies to the meeting Monday night for the members, and then we
Okay.
can look at them as we go through, and they can up or down as
Okay.
we go. I can email them, but we had a problem with that before, John. I will do both.
No, you can have Caroline make 11 copies.
Okay,
Thank
all right,
you, Counselor.
absolutely.
So, favorable action,
Favorable action on the piece. That's, we'll send it out, favorable action, and then we'll provide the updates, the amendments.
second on that. All in favor?
All right,
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Item number 7, this is a petition for second-class motor dealer license from Malcolm Lima, doing business as Everett Auto Brokers at 152 Ferry Street. Actually, we have 2 petitions.
Yep.
Mr. Lima, on item number 8, is also for a petition for second-class motor dealer license at Boston Auto Brokers at 353 Third.
Counselor Capone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is the petitioner in the audience? If we could please have the petitioner up here, and is our city clerk still around? If we could please have our city clerk come up as well?
If you'd like, sir, you can sit down and, there's a button on that microphone that you can press. Once it's green, you're on.
There you go.
There you go.
So when you see the green, it's on.
Thank you.
Could you state your name and your address for the record, sir?
My name is Malcolm Lima. I'm resident in Lynn at 55 Hood Street at Lynn, Massachusetts.
Good evening, Mr. Lima.
Good evening.
Counselor Capone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Mr. Lima. Mike, these are both new licenses?
Yes.
Okay. And so right now, Mr. Lima, are you operating down at that location or no?
On 152 Ferry Street, it is, I bought the business, Procar Auto Sales, and we are changing the corporation to Everett Auto Brokers, Inc.
Okay. And to our clerk, on 152 and 353 Third Street, how many vehicles are allowed at each site?
14 at 152, 20 at Third Street.
The other way around, sir.
Hmm?
The other way around.
20 at 152 and 14 at Third. Is that what it says there, John?
152, 14, 353, 20.
Okay, so we have 14 at 152? Okay. Well, that's important to get straight. So make sure we have the right number of cars in the right spot. So the city has 20 at,
Wait a second, Mike.
Hold on, let me check.
okay. Well, they're just checking that out. I ask you a question. Have you been in this business before? Is this new to you, or?
No, I've been in this business for 7 years. I came from Herb Chambers. I was employed for them. I was used car sales, and then I managed a used car dealer in Malden, ASSR Enterprise, for 5 years, and now I come to own my own dealer.
Okay.
It is the opposite.
So 152 has how many vehicles?
152 is 20,
Okay,
Third Street is 14.
okay, which is what you thought it was. So you've done a dealership in Malden, you've worked with Herb Chambers. Is this your first venture out on your own?
Yes.
Okay. And, sometimes one license can be tricky, to have the right number of cars and make sure that you're working with the neighborhood and the city.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable doing 2 locations at the same time?
Yes, I do, because we're gonna work on different kind of vehicles. On Third Street, it's gonna be more trucks and commercial vans. It's not gonna be small cars. And the 152, which is on the Ferry Street, is gonna be more to a family cars.
Okay.
And
Okay. And is all the paperwork in order?
All the paperwork's in order. My only suggestion, if I may, is that historically, 152 has been a disaster as far as the amount of cars that are on that lot. That's the only thing I would really watch, because the neighbors are really patient. They really are. They're really patient, but then it gets to a certain point, and then, so that's the only problem that's ever been at 152 historically.
Okay. And thank you very much for the input on that. So with that said, you seem like a nice guy, and you want to give it a shot. The fact that you're doing commercial vehicles in one and more passenger vehicles in the other makes sense. So with the words you heard from our clerk, one of the biggest concerns that we have with dealerships is that they try to put too many cars in a lot, and it becomes a safety issue, it becomes a problem for the neighborhood. So that's the kind of stuff we want to avoid. So as long as you stay within the number and you operate your business as a good neighbor, you're not going to have any problems with the city. So with that said, do you see any problem with that at all?
No, I've been manager of the place for the past, since February. And we see some stuff that the neighbors complain about. When I took it over the place as a manager, the fence was with the grass and all the stuff. Sidewalks was dirty, you know, the yard was a little bit abandoned and stuff like that. I see the concern. I own my own house in Lane. I don't want my next door guy has the same issues that I see in there. So we are addressing that, you know, try to make safe and good looking for everybody. That's why we did apply for another license. It's very expensive too. The overhead on 152, we're talking about $25,000 per month. So it's one of those concerns. That's why sometimes they put in more cars, try to make it up for the service that we have in there. And I was aware, I was bite on that because I did have my motorcycle in that, and that counted as a car. You know, stuff that we thought that was my personal use, it wasn't count, it was not for sale. So we're gonna go bound by the city, whatever
Okay.
the rules it is, and
Good.
remove what's not for sale and just keep
Good.
it clean.
And as long as you stay in that, there won't be any issues. So you seem like a decent guy. You understand the importance of maintaining the lot, being courteous to the neighbors,
Yes.
and staying within the restrictions of the city. And like I said, so I, for one, am in favor of giving an opportunity. I have no other questions, so if there's any other questions, otherwise, I'd ask for favorable action.
Question, actually,
Counselor Leyva.
thank you. City Clerk Michael Matarazzo. Third Street, are you buying, is there an existing place on Third Street?
No, this is our last license, I think, yeah.
So this is a new place, it's not an existing car
It was
dealership that was there?
years and years and years ago, it was Veterans, a real long time ago.
Okay, because there was a car dealership that we had a problem with, is this the one I'm thinking of, is this,
No, we begged him not to use that name. One of the, we once revoked somebody with exactly that name, yes.
it was, okay.
Yes, it was
I'm sorry.
exactly that name.
I mean, I don't want to bring it up, but I just want to make
Yeah,
sure that
no,
we do.
it's not the same people, but that's
Okay.
the same name.
We want to make sure that we do honest business and everything for the people, because it's, you know, yeah, so that's, as long as you do honest business and you do your job, we don't have a problem giving you the license. And if you don't do honest business, then we don't have a problem taking it back either. So I want to make that very clear. And-
I do understand. I like to address that too. My family do own Malden Auto Sales in Malden, Malden Auto Brokers. That's why we try to keep Malden Auto Brokers, Everett Auto Brokers, and now Boston Auto Brokers. Unfortunately, we pick a loser name, but you know, I hope that's not a problem.
No,
you
it's
know.
not a problem. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't the same, the same, and we weren't going to run into any problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. On the motion, before we vote on the motion, can we invite Counselor Hanlon up? He'd like to, I believe, speak on this piece, Counselor?
Sure.
Thank you. Counselor Hanlon?
Thank you.
Counselor, could I remind you that there are no cell phones in council chambers?
Oh, I thought you were saying I couldn't come up and talk. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. No, I didn't know that, by the way. Right. I
Yes.
just wanted to speak a little bit on the 353 Third Street. I was asked to review the premise by the owner and to find out if this would be the kind of an operation that would fit in down there. And the operation, they said, was for commercial vehicles, but I don't know if you mentioned that these are going to be sold on the internet. So there's not going to be any for sale signs or anything like that down there. It's going to be just a quiet operation. Sell a vehicle, someone comes down, picks it up, and they drive it away. So it's not going to be like one of the car things that we see, like at 152 or any other car place, cars for sale and signs like that. It's got a nice little office building down there, and it's, as a matter of fact, there's another person in the building, but it's a nice, small building, just enough for this kind of an operation. So I want to speak in favor of it, but I know that you already voted in favor of it, so I wasn't going to go up and talk at all, but thank you anyway. Okay.
Thank you, Counselor. And Mr. Lima, you hear the concerns of the board?
Yes.
Okay, I've been on the licensing committee for a while. The city clerk and I have had problems at that business years ago. You're in a highly dense neighborhood with houses and parking cars on side streets, this and that, so we're asking you to please abide by our laws.
I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion's before us, favorable action. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. That'll be referred favorably to the next council meeting, on both. Item 7 and 8. So that'll come before Monday night's meeting, Mr. Clerk. So if you come Monday night, in case any of the councilors have any questions for you. Thank you, Mr. Lima. Motion is seconded to adjourn? Second. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. You have adjourned.